Alright, sorry about that little edit there. My crack videographer didn't let me know that we had run out of space on the SD card. So, don't know where I left you off exactly, but through the magic of editing, we'll go back to this part here. So, we have quite a bit of length left on these tracks here. So, we have some play in here now as to where we can slide this back to and get these close. So what I want to start with is I want to make this one as short as possible because it has to go at the end here to match up to that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these rails. I want to leave about a half of a rail joiner length, so I can put the rail joiner on here and then use the other half to connect to the other piece. Now, since this is a diverging angle here, you want to be sure that you make your cuts perpendicular. I think I was saying parallel before, but you want to make them perpendicular to your tracks, but you want to keep them parallel on the same plane this way and this way, because this is set at a little bit of an angle. So if you have them come straight across here, when you put the next piece on, I can demonstrate that here. See how the actual rail, there's a bit of an angle between the two there. So when you butt the next one up against to it, you get a nice straight flow through. If you cut these all four perpendicular across, now you can see you get kind of a wonky joint in there, because this track is actually longer than that track because of the angle. Whereas this one, maybe I can better demonstrate it on this side. This one you get a nice straight through, but this one you get that real kind of wonky square joint. So what you actually want to do is you want to try to match the angle that you're diverging. So you actually want to put him up here. Now let's do it back here where we're actually going to cut it. And you don't have to use tape here, you can mark that with a Sharpie or whatever. But that's a little too much of an extreme of an angle there. Okay, but you can see, if you can zoom in on that, these are straight, so you'll get a nice straight through path, and then because this one is cut a little shorter, you get a nice straight through without having your wonky joint. If we go again on the end, you can see your wonky joint there. It's not straight through, but if you cut it back at the angle, you get it to go through nice and straight. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut these, and you want to cut with the flush side of your cutters always to the side of the track that you want to keep if you can. So just cut where that tape is. You also might want to hold these ends, but I don't really care if they fly off and hit Ian. He deserves it right now. So, whoops, tape came off, so I'm going to have to eyeball that. It's one reason why you might want to use a Sharpie or something. Alright, so I cut that a little bit shorter at that angle. So now when I match these two guys up, you can see it's a nice straight through, not a wonky joint. And this one can be trimmed back just a little bit. Alright, so again you've got a nice straight through and no wonky joints. Okay, so now that we've got this one cut down and my sample piece here that is going the wrong way, which is cut earlier, so we're not going to be able to use that here. But I want to basically do the same here. So now we can get this lined up. And we see now he's going to go off on this flex track here. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and pin him into place. And since we are using the Affordable Model Railroad Super Quiet roadbed here, it's real easy to just pin him into place here so that he doesn't move. Alright, And then you can take this guy here, let's see, make sure I get them lined up through that curve there properly. Alright, then this guy here, you can see that we need to slide him a lot forward so that these tracks will match up through here. And so what we want to do there is we want to come back here, and again we want to leave about a half a tie. And what I like to do is just put the two rails next to each other, and then again you can Sharpie your pencil or something and mark that. But I like to use tape so that I can get a nice straight parallel across there. So, knock him off there, clip him off there, and then I will do him on this side. And then remember, come back a little bit. And after you've done a couple of these, you can kind of eyeball it. You'll know. All right, so now we've got these guys set in here. And if we have, I'll pretend this is a piece of straight track. We've got him to where he goes straight through to this one, and this guy meets that curve there. So again, if we have the two long ones in here without cutting them back, you can see we might get this one pretty close, but you can see we're way coming off of this one, and by the time we got down here to this third one, number 6, we would be way off. So that's one reason why you may want to cut these curves, these turnouts back. So I'm going to put my rail joiners on here real quick. And again, you can take a file and you can dress these a little bit if you care to. I'm not going to show that on the video here because I think y'all know how to file. All right. And if you have a little gap there in the joiner, you can always just cut this rail just a little bit shorter, and it'll squeeze in there. Or again, you dress your file. Now you can see here we have the guide ties and the throw bar that sticks out. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to take those off. And I match it right to the end of my ties here, these other ties. Clip it. Now, make sure you have the throw bar all the way opposite what you're cutting off, because if you do it here and you cut it here, there's a chance you might cut it too short, and you don't want it to come in underneath here. So be sure you have that slit all the way over, and then you can clip that. And clip your next one, so now it doesn't interfere with the track that's going to go that way. Alright, so thanks for watching, and keep notes. We try to post one of these about every week or 2 weeks, and if you subscribe, you'll get notified when we'll be posting the next video of you asked for it from Affordable Model Railroads. Have a good day.